What is up, guys? Welcome back to another live open esports play session here over at Black Rocket. I'm Dan. I'm the host. You know me, all in well. I'm always here in my bedroom because, again, we are all quarantined. So, speaking of being home, again, as I do like to start this off with blackrocket.com/online, we have our free content and then we also got the premium content. So, our free content, we did have the virtual open houses running. Those are done. However, you can always find the reruns of them on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/BRP clips. They're all up there, and those are kind of just a sample of the classes that we run over the summer. It's just a little sneak peek. Then we have the Play and Compete Together. That is going to be the open play esports sessions that we do every day, every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then again, we do have the premium content over here. Now, something I do want to mention is that we have a game design sampler that is starting next week that you can still sign up for. So if you do want to check that out, make sure you do check out our premium content right here. And I do also want to mention that our registration has gone live for our June classes. We're going to be running some online classes. So if you do want to register, you can look into the schools near you that you know have the Black Rocket classes. Our website is going to update very shortly with all that information for you guys. So that's going to be it for that. Let's get into some fun games for you guys right now. So again, if you aren't familiar, we are going to be playing Sembly today. So if you do want to play Sembly with us, all you got to do is go to blackrocket.com/esports. And then as you can see right here, we got our two esports games, Sembly and Battle Royale. Today we are going to be playing Sembly. And all you got to do is hit play now. That is all you have to do. It's super easy. You can play it in a browser. All it does is take you to the blackrocket.com/assembly page. It will load, and then you will be good to go. You can play it on a Chromebook, you can play it on a Mac, you can do anything you want. So let's get started. So again, I will be giving room codes for you guys. However, if you do want to play with your friend, join a quick game, anything you want, you can always do that, and we may even hop into your game as it's going on. So you can always feel free to make your own room, do anything you want, and we will get in there for you guys. So I am going to swap over to our nice full screen view so we can get the best viewing experience right here. And again, I am going to be the spectator. Our first room code is going to be NGAX. But again, if you guys do want to play, you just go to play, private, join, and then type in the room code, which this time is going to be NGAX. So Sembly has been very, very exciting this week. We had a couple times where, or maybe not a couple, but we had a lot of close games, and we also had one time where a couple players grabbed a gem at the same time in gem race. So that was pretty crazy. We've never really seen that before. I think it may have happened one time in like early development, but that has never happened on stream before. So that was really fun to see. We also had a lot of fast matches that were really close, came down to the second one because someone didn't get the gem the first time. So we have had some really exciting games, and we do have a fast match for you guys here. So fast match is you get 5 random items and you get 30 seconds to build your map. As you can see here, each player builds their own map. So we have player 2 going in with the moving blocks over at the end, throwing in some switch blocks right now, while player 1 kind of just flooded the whole thing with switch blocks and fans to kind of push away the other player from going. However, it does look like the middle road, not the middle road, the high road is going to be the path that you do want to take here. You should just be able to wall jump up there and get to work. So we do see, I believe that is going to be player 2 actually on player 1's map is going to get that gem, it looks like, and they do. So fast match, again, you play each time on each map. You play one time on each map, and whoever gets the gem the quickest gets more points. So if player 1 wants any chance at a comeback, he's going to have to get this gem within 11 seconds, I believe. And oh, it looks like they are going to be able to do it. Oh, but player 2 also grabbed it at the same time. Usually it does stop the game. However, it does look like there may be a little bit of a delay on stopping the game, so it does give the other player a bit of time to catch up if they are really close. So player 2 was able to get in there, snag the gem, and seal the victory, even though it did look like player 1 got there first. So another exciting game right off the bat, another close one to get things started right here. So we have seen a lot of close games in Sembly. Even in Battle Royale, we have seen a lot of close games. And I do believe we do have another room code for you guys. We do have ZAHY. So again, if you guys do want to join the room, just go to play private join and then type in the room code ZAHY. And you will be on stream. This is going to be a stream code. So again, we have seen a lot of close games between Sembly and Battle Royale, especially this week. It does seem like the players who are coming back, who are participating, have gotten a lot better. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We can really see the development that has happened between the players that have stayed and between the newer players. However, if you do get a few games under your belt, you should definitely see improvement right off the bat. So right here, we see player 1 going for some ice blocks at the beginning, some falling blocks, some robots at the end, and then you do see player 2 here kind of blocking off the top rotor, not even really blocking it off. Actually, yes, blocking it off, because I do not think you will be able to jump over all those one-way blocks. So that is going to be kind of a trap. You do want to kind of get over there quickly. So we do have player 1 is going to be red, player 2 is going to be the green. They're trying to maneuver their way around those robots, and they do. So very, very skillfully, player 2 is able to take that gem by sliding around those robots. So very, very impressive coming in from player 2. Oh, player 1 looks like they are going low now. However, will they have time? That is the key right here, because again, as I did mention, you do gain points based on time. So player 1 does look like they're able to grab this gem. However, will they get there in time? And oh, that was player 2. Excuse me. So player 2 was able to grab both gems on both of the maps and is able to seal that victory. No double grabs here. No tiebreakers here. It does look like player 2 was able to get there. So 2 fast matches right under the belt to start off. We are going to get another room code going in for you guys. And let's see what we do have here. So again, I do just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it is always great when we do have viewers in, when we got old viewers in, when we got some new viewers in. But again, those returning viewers, we do appreciate your support. We are hoping that more people do tune in as the classes start to go on. So we will get a lot more people in, and we will get a lot more competition in for you guys too. And as we usually do over the summer, we will be running some tournaments going on for you guys as well, either between different schools, between different classes, or stuff like that. So make sure you guys do stay tuned for that. So here we do have a gem race coming in. So gem race is each player picks 5 items. And then with those 5 items, you guys both build on a map. So you could have 10 different items coming in and have 10 different items at the map at the same time. So then the one thing that does make gem race has to do a little bit with luck is the fact that the gems do spawn in at random locations. However, you can see the different random locations that they will spawn. So you do have a chance to prepare for it. However, with a map like normal, I think normal is going to be the highest level of competition because, again, you build on your own map with the same items as the other player. So you guys kind of take different approaches, and then you see who does better on their own approach and on the other approach, and then you add up the points and you have a winner. So I do think that normal is probably the most competitive. However, I do think gem race is probably going to be the most fun. And the reason is because, again, as I said, each player does get 5 items and you get to build on the same map. So that's really cool. We are playing Pipe Jungle right now. So Pipe Jungle is probably, I would say, one of the better maps for a gem race. When you do have a map like Rat Maze or something like that, it can get a little hard to kind of cope with the different spawns that do happen with the gems, because again, it is really hard to kind of maneuver your way through one side of the map to the other side of the map. Same with Sidewalk Hustle. So one thing that we did learn in our last open play session is that on gem race, you can break blocks no matter if they are yours or the other players. Now, in normal mode, you can only break other players' blocks. You cannot break blocks on your own map. However, since this is Gem Race, since we do share the map, you actually are able to break your own blocks. So if you do block something off, if you do put some sort of key block there, if you do anything like that, you will actually be able to break it. We do see a lot of people make some mistakes on normal where they either make a single layer lock, so the other player is going to be able to break that before you get the key to your own block. And like also kind of just trapping a gem in where no one could get it except the other player. So you really do want to be careful. However, in Gem Race, as I just mentioned, you actually are able to break your own blocks. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how players do play with that new information. I believe we just found that out. A lot of us did last stream. So now that we do have this information, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how the game does change, how these players change. But again, we do have 5 seconds left on this build phase. This is how the map is going to look. So again, we do got a lot of items down. A lot of gems have been covered right here. So it's going to be difficult, except those gems all the way to the right. It looks like those may be free for anyone who gets there first. So this is going to be a very, very interesting map. We are going to check out who's who on our player list here. So we got player 1 is going to be blue. Player 2 is going to be red. So we do got player 1 grabbing that first gem. Looks like player 2 does have an advantage going into the second one as it is in that bottom right corner. So they are able to take that one. And now the next gem is also in kind of the bottom left corner. However, it did look a little bit difficult for player 2 to kind of get their way over there. They did have to hit a pretty tough wall jump. So they kind of just hit the tactical reset button, which is R for those of you who don't know. Player 2 does look like they should be on pace to get this next gem, and they do get it. Now they are kind of trapped in between the springs. Very unfortunate. So player 1 does get an easy cakewalk to their third gem. Now player 2 does have to grab this gem. They do got to get this one. Then they have to hope for a good spawn here too. It does look like they should be able to get it. And that next gem is up in that top right corner. We're going to have to find out who's able to get there. Player 1 does look like they have the advantage, so they should be good to go here. However, they are being pushed off by the moving blocks. This could be very difficult. However, it does look like they are able to get there. So again, we do have a very, very close game right there. Player 2 was in it. For a second, it just didn't look like they were able to get up there. They weren't able to hit the wall jumps. But again, very, very close game there. Player 1 maybe just snuck by the skin of their teeth right there, depending on if player 2 was really able to get up there. So another close game. Shoutouts to both of our players. And we are going to get another game in. So again, these games have just been getting closer and closer. I can only imagine that our players are really flip-flopping victories at this point, because we who have been returning and have been playing basically every day. So here we do have our next room code is going to be EDSG. So our room code is going to be EDSG. And we are going to hop in here right now. So here we go. We do got EDSG. Looks like our players did pick Sidewalk Hustle right now. So it does look like if that is going to be our map, we are going to have a tough one. And both players pick Sidewalk Hustle, actually. So that is a really tough map for Gem Race. But again, you really do just have to prepare for everything. It does get really, really tough when you do kind of have to rely on the spawns, or when you do have to kind of prepare for a lot of different things. It does get pretty tough, kind of not knowing where the gems are going to spawn. However, on normal, I do really like Sidewalk Hustle because it is a very linear map. So you kind of prepare for one thing, the next thing, and the next thing. And you could also do some tricky things with the lock and key, where you do put a lock on one of the early blocks and put the key down further. However, you do have to make sure that it is layered pretty deep, or else, again, as I did mention earlier, the opposing player will be able to break that block. However, this is not normal. This is gem race, so both players are going to be building on the same map. So again, a lot of tough spawns here. We do see frequently on Sidewalk also some gems despawning or respawning somewhere else without a player even getting them, and now that happens, I think, after about 30 seconds. So a reason why that can happen is if a gem is basically all the way over here and all of our players are kind of at the start. Now, if a gem is all the way over here and then the next one's at the start, you could actually do a tactical reset by pressing R, and now that will most likely be the quickest way to get back to the beginning. So again, a lot of different strategies that do come in right now. So it is going to be pretty tough for our players. It does look like they both maxed out their items though. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little overlay of the map. We do have a lot of those locks coming in. So again, as I did mention, the players are actually able to break those blocks. I think you are able to use your hammer about 3 times in a gem race. So that is only going to block off about 3 gems, which again is 3 out of 4. So again, you do want to kind of, I don't really know what you should do here at this point. You do kind of want to make another layer possibly around some of these gems to make sure that if you are going to make them use their hammer, you make them use a lot of it. But when you do have kind of just a single block blocking this, you really don't even need the key. Again, you can just use your hammer. So a lot of the map is not really covered off. So this is going to be kind of an interesting playthrough right now. Again, Sidewalk Hustle, you do got very long map. However, the first gem, does it spawn right there? Okay, we got a little bit of a glitch right there. First gem was gathered up by player 2. Looks like they were able to use their hammer super quickly. And our next gem is again going to be in a lock block. Actually, player 2 looks like they are going to be able to get this again. Will they use their hammer? Is the hammer not working? I'm not sure. Maybe they only get 1 hammer use in gem race. But very interesting because they did break the lock on their first one. However, they were not able to do it there. So very interesting right there. But player 1 now should have the advantage because they did go and get that key. So if player 2 is not able to use their hammer in order to break another lock, it will look like player 1 will have the advantage. So that's pretty interesting coming in right now. And I believe player 2 may have been the one who put those lock blocks down in the first place. So a little bit of a questionable strategy right now coming in from player 2. However, it does look like they did break that block. So I'm a little confused as to why they didn't break that first one. But we do have that last gem. Could be the last gem for player 2 right there. If they are able to break that block using the hammer. And they do. So player 2 planned that out really well, made player 1 go get the key while they were able to use their hammer in order to break the lock. So that's just an example of of your strategy working. However, again, it could backfire if the player does not take the bait to get that key and actually does kind of just break it as well, because I believe player 1 actually got to the block faster. But then they just immediately went towards the key. So again, we are going to hop into another game. That was an interesting game. Wasn't really that close. However, the reason for that was because of the strategy. So we did see a good strategy working out. So we do got a room code coming in right now. It is going to be DEQQ. And again, if you guys do want to join, just go to play, private, join DEQQ as the room code. And again, if you guys are trying to get into these games, you can always vote. And now this is actually going to be normal, so you can vote on more than normal. However, when it is normal, if you guys do want to vote, you can go to spectate, vote, type in the room code DEQQ. And now the things that you could vote on the 5th item in normal, and you could also vote on the different events that happen throughout the game. So you can definitely impact the game, and we do kind of want to get everyone involved. So that's why we did add that feature. And it also does make the players adapt to the different events that happen and to whatever that fifth item is, because you do kind of want to put all your items to use. I do think that putting all your items to use is the most effective way to play the game, because if you just put a bunch of robots down, everyone will be able to prepare for the robots. However, if you put robots down and then you put the crusher in somewhere, kind of sneak that in, maybe they won't be prepared for it. So you do kind of want to experiment with different combinations. And again, you do kind of want to put everything kind of together. It is sort of like building a puzzle that only you can solve. So you got the switch, ice, invisible, or disappearing, because again, it is there. And then we got the lock and key and the sticky block. So in normal, I think this is going to be our first normal game of the day. In normal, you actually know where the gems are going to spawn. So there's going to be 4 gems throughout the map, and then the final gem is going to be the big one with the lock around it. So you do got to get the 4 gems, and then you could get that big one in order to win that map. However, there's a couple things that are different than gem race. The first thing is obviously you know where these gems are going to spawn in. The second thing is that you actually get a different point value based on how quickly you gather these gems. So in gem race, I believe you always get 500 points. However, in normal, you get I believe it may start at around 800. I'm not 100% sure. However, point value does go down as time goes on. So you do want to kind of get those gems fast. Now that comes into play if, say, you are on the second map, you have to make up a deficit, you're trying to make a comeback. You do have to make sure that you get those gems quick, because if you do take any time, if you lose any time, you will not be able to make that comeback at all. So this also comes into play if one player is able to fly through their map. So let's say that player 1 makes an easy map. They're able to fly through it. They get all the gems really, really quickly. And player 2 is able to get, say, 3 gems. If player 2 has a really, really tough map and it's their map, however, and they are able to get all 4 gems, but let's say they get 3 of their gems with 20 seconds left, they are not going to be able to make that comeback, because as I did mention, the point value does go down, so they will not get nearly as many points as player 1 got on their map. So that does come into play. So I do just want to show you guys both the players' maps separate, because this is them together. However, they are not together. That is only in gem race. So we do got player 1 going for some lock blocks up at the top right now. So it does look like it's kind of tough to tell, but it does look like you may not want to grab the key, because it does give you a nice little floor if you are walking up at the top. And then player 2 kind of looks like they are going heavy on those lock blocks. So as I did mention, and player 2 did put it into action, you do sort of want to make it so you do got kind of layers to your lock blocks right here. Now, I do think that player 1 will be able to break 1 layer. I do think you do have 3 hammers, so you will be able to get through this right here. However, if you do waste your hammer on that, you will not be able to get through this one. So looks like what player 2 is going for here is kind of forcing you to grab the key if you do kind of want to save time. So if I was competing right now, I would probably go the low route here, grab that first gem, get this gem and the key, wall jump up and around, kind of get the next 2 gems in order on top, and then get that big gem. However, these players know best. They are the ones who made the map. They have their game plan. So we are going to take a quick little look. Going to find out who's who. Looks like player 1 is going to be dark gray. Player 2 is going to be the silver right there. Player 2 grabbing that first gem. No problem. However, it does look like they did not actually see those disappearing blocks. That is pretty funny. Player 1 now is having a little bit of trouble wall jumping up. However, they are able to get that gem. Oh, and then they do hit a quick little tactical reset. So player 1 knows what they're doing on their own map right here. So that is always good to see. Usually you do kind of want to see the player who made the map have the better performance on that map. So now both players kind of grabbing the gem at the same time, and they do. They get the same point value. And now we do got that gem up in the top right corner right here. Both players grabbing that one at the same time. So this is going to be a super duper close map. It is going to kind of come down to who's able to get this last gem. And now it is going to be player 1 grabbing that next gem, with player 2 grabbing it not far behind. So it does look like player 1 does make the comeback on their own map by getting that big gem. They do pull out the victory right there. However, player 2 now moving to their map, and they did keep it really close. So if they are able to kind of push themselves to the limit right now and speed up, we may get a really close game right now. So player 2 grabbing the gem, very, very, very nice. Now player 1 does hit the tactical reset. They do press R. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see how these strategies come into play. Again, it may look like player 1 now has the advantage by hitting that tactical reset. So it is going to look like player 1 should be able to take the victory here, and they do. So player 1, very close game right there. Both players are flying through those maps. Not a lot of mistakes being made. However, the only thing that I could say is that maybe player 2 on their map should have hit the tactical reset button in order to get those last 2 gems. But again, very, very close matches right there. So props to both of our players. So we are going to see what our next room code is. And again, that was a very, very competitive match right there. Those may be 2 experts playing the game right now, because that was really impressive. I don't know. Maybe our developers hopped in and played one, because that was crazy. I've never seen anything like that. They were really flying through that map. So we are going to get another room code for you guys, and we are going to get up on the game again. Maybe our players are taking a little bit of a break after that one, because they must have been sweating towards the end right there. That's how close that was. So we do got another room code for you guys. It's going to be OFCM. And yeah, there we go. So you got OFCM is going to be our room code right now. And it does look like this is going to be a gem race. So we do got a gem race game coming in. We'll take a look at the maps too. Maybe they'll select the maps first. Toxic Knight is always a good gem race map. I believe Toxic Knight and maybe Pipe Jungle are my 2 favorite gem race maps. And that's just because they are more spread out. They're not really kind of blocked off how Rat Maze or Sidewalk Hustle are. So again, oh, and Smog Factory is also a good one. We haven't really seen that one be played too much. I don't even know when we have seen that one in a while, actually. That's pretty crazy. I really do not remember seeing that in a really long time, and that's one of my favorite maps personally. However, we do get it, thankfully. I do want to see how our players do play on this map, because I have not seen this in the past few days we've streamed. So again, if these players are experts, we are going to get an exciting match on a new map. So there we go. So again, this is Gem Race, so both players will be building on the same map. Player 1 only has a couple moving blocks down right now, while player 2, it does look like they do got some disappearing, some switch blocks, some pretty intense stuff. So we are going to see how our players fare. So again, as I did mention before, you do kind of have to prepare for the different gems that are spawned, because it can get random. It is random, actually. But again, it can kind of benefit one player or the other player depending on where the gem does spawn. Because again, if a gem spawns here, and then the next one spawns here, it's going to be super easy for the player who grabbed this gem to grab that gem. So again, you always kind of want to go for the gem. You always want to stay by the other player and then kind of just put the fate of the game in your own ability, in your own hands. Because if you are close to the player, if they grab that gem and you miss it, then you should be able to grab this one. And you really should not kind of like hope that a gem spawns over here, because then you're kind of giving them free reign of the map. So if a gem does spawn over there and you are over here, you could always press the tactical reset, which is R. So it is kind of more of a race when you do it that way, which again, the name of the game, gem race, you do kind of have that. So you want to make sure that you always stay in the race. We are going to get on their way. This is going to be what our final map looks like. Got a pretty crazy start right there with those one-way blocks. Let's see if our players do break those or if they decide to just let them roll. So here we go. Looks like player 1 is going to be our green. Player 2 going to be the silver. So both players have the same idea. It didn't look like they were able to wall jump up there, or maybe they even got stuck. However, we do got that little visual glitch where we don't see which gem is what. And player 2 able to grab that first gem. So player 2 grabbed that gem and instantly hit that tactical reset button. Now it does look like player 1 is going to be able to grab that next one. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. They're stuck. They are. Oh, okay. So player 1 was able to grab it after some time. However, they did have some trouble right there with those moving blocks. And then we do got the crusher block coming in. Player 1 does look like they are going to use their hammer on the lock. Very, very clever. Next gem does spawn close to player 2. So player 2, if they lose out this one, that would be very unfortunate. Next gem spawning in both close to both of our players, and then the next gem spawning right there too. So player 1 was able to kind of just sneak up on those last 2 gems and take home the victory. So again, very competitive game. Both players were really close to most of those gems. There was never really a free one on the board. So again, shout out to both of our players, and we will get another game going for you guys. So again, we will get another room code coming up for you guys. We have had some really good competition right now. So again, shout out to both of our players. That match, again, the match before was also super close on that normal. So the players are definitely getting a lot more skilled. The matches are getting a lot more intense. So I hope that this intensity does keep up for over the summer, because we do got the tournaments going on over the summer. So we do got a lot of competition, a lot of battles being fought over the summer. So again, this is definitely good practice for you guys who will want to participate in those tournaments over the summer. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, our room code is going to be IGDW. That is going to be the room code for you guys. This game, not sure if it's a gem race or normal. So we do got normal game coming up right now. So again, Sidewalk Hustle is a very interesting game is an interesting map for normal mode. And again, that is because it is very linear, so you can get all 4 gems in order, and it is kind of a race from one end to the other. So that does make it pretty intense, does make it pretty cool, where you do have kind of some maps where it's a little bit divided. So 2 gems are on one side of the map, 2 gems are on the other side of the map, and then you could kind of pick and choose which ones you want to get first. This one is kind of just really left to right, straightforward like that. So again, I do kind of like this. Um, Again, some people don't like it because you do kind of want to have a little bit of variety in your approach. However, I do think that the variety in approach gets made up with the different items that players use and how they use those items to their advantage. So again, I think that normal is a little best played on the more linear map, while then gem race is kind of best played on a map with a lot of layers. So we do got the disappearing block, the moving block, the ice block, the cannon, and the vacuum. So we have seen the cannon used in a variety of different ways. However, in Sidewalk Hustle, it's really, really well used to kind of propel yourself from one end of the map to the other end of the map. Now, on a map like Rat Maze, where you have a lot of tight corridors, you can actually put a cannon down in order to stall your opponent out. So that does come in handy. It doesn't really come in handy here because you could kind of just fire straight out of it because again there aren't too many tight corridors. However, if you put it kind of here or even near one of the gems, it will kind of make your opponent waste a little bit of time. So sometimes we haven't really seen it before, but it would be interesting to see a strategy where someone puts a cannon down on a gem and a player does hop into it not really thinking about the stall time, and then the other player just kind of breaks it. That would be a pretty interesting strategy. I would like to see that. However, again, can't really do that in normal because you cannot break your own block, so you will have to put that strategy into use on gem race instead. So you got the vacuums. Making use of the vacuums right there. I do like this strategy. This may even be a kind of trap strategy right here because again, if you do get stuck right here in those vacuum blocks, you may not even be able to get down. So you may have to use the tactical reset right there. Now, we do also have a little bit of a blockade going on here. So it does look like the only way... Whose map is that? That's player one's map. So on player one's map, it does look like you are gonna have to take that high road right here. You are gonna have to go up these walls, over the vacuum blocks, over this vacuum block, and get that first gem. So there is gonna be a really hard challenge getting that first gem. And it does look like they are now setting up for the second. Now I do like what they're kind of doing here. They are kind of making it a little bit of a short challenge to get these gems. So right here, it's kind of like it's not really difficult to get over these vacuums right here. It's kind of just blocking off the low road. However, once you do pass those vacuums, there's only going to be this one vacuum here that you do have to contest with. And then the cannon too. So if you do kind of over jump the vacuum, you may accidentally fall into the cannon. And then at the second gem, we also have another vacuum with the moving blocks and some ice blocks. So they're kind of just setting up close to the gem. And I really like that because it does kind of make it a race to get to the other gem. But then once you do get there, you do have to be a little bit more meticulous and more precise. And then it does look like they haven't really reached to the end of the map yet. We are going to take a little look at player 2. Player 2... Ooh, don't like that. I do not like this player too. So as I have mentioned multiple times, you do not want to trap gems on your own map because you cannot break them, but the other player can break them. So player 2, unfortunately, is not going to be able to finish their own map if they do keep it like this. However, player 1 can finish this map. So my early game pre-game projection is that player 1 is going to take the victory on player 2's map. However, we will see how this all plays out. Maybe if player 2 has a really good showing on player 1's map, they can still get the victory. So we are going to get started right here. We are going to find out who our contestants are. Both players taking the low road. Even player 1 who put that down. However, may have just been a little fake out. Player 2 now making their way up. Player 1 grabbing gem number 1. Very clever use of the cannon. Ooh, and it does look like player 2 actually hopped in the cannon as well. They may have not even knew that they missed a gem right there. So player 1 is making great use of the cannon right now. This is going to be a tough scene for player 2 to come back from. If player 1 really keeps up this speed right now. So it does look like, I'm not sure if they put any disappearing blocks over there. However, they may have been better off just going low through there. I'm not really sure why they decided not to. And they do cannon themselves into the vacuum. So again, interesting play there from player 1 after gathering those gems. Player 2, I don't even think they realized that they missed that gem all the way at the beginning. Because if they were able to go back and grab that, they would actually have the advantage right here in finishing the map. Now, again, as I mentioned, you do get a different score based on the time you get the gem. So player 1 score is abnormally higher than player 2 score, basically because they were able to grab their first 3 gems kind of right out the gate. And they are able to grab the 4th. They do hop out the cannon, so they are going to be able to get that big boss gem. And they do grab it. So player 1 is able to grab all 5 gems on their map. And I am going to unfortunately declare that player 1 will be the one who's able to win this, because I do not think that player 2 is going to be able to grab all the gems on their map. We are going to monitor how they do. And again, they get off to a really good start. So I do feel a little bit bad for them, because I know that they're not going to be able to get that gem, and I'm not sure if they know that. They actually, maybe they do know it, because it does not look like they're going for it at all. So maybe they do know that they were not able to grab that one. Player 1 not using their hammer, interestingly, to break that. Not sure why, but again, everyone's strategy is different. Now this gem also looks like it's going to be a little bit impossible to get. Yeah, so that's going to be impossible to get. So player 1 grabbing another gem. They did grab the one by all those moving blocks, and now they are making their way back. Now, what I would have done is I would have broke in one invisible block over here, and then came back around here and broke these 2 vacuums, and then just kind of wall jumped up the side. It is going to get a little bit difficult for player 1 to kind of get this. I don't think any player is going to be able to grab that gem, especially now that player 1 did not use their hammer and they were sent back to the beginning. However, they are going to be able to use their hammer on these blocks right now, and that will sort of even cement their victory. However, I don't even think they need any cement, because they were able to grab a lot of gems on their map very, very quickly. So shout out to player 1 on taking that victory. And again, player 2, make sure you do not lock your gems away. So I think we may get one more game in right now. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. We've had some really great games. We do enjoy when our players are getting better as well. So again, thank you guys for participating, and thank you for being dedicated and really getting better. So we actually do have a game. It is going to be YZPS is going to be the room code. Searching, and we do find the room, so we are going to wait for one more person to join in this room, to hop in, to have a blast in, I believe, what might be our final game of the day. So we do got a fast match coming in as well. So this is a fast match. Fast matches are pretty exciting because, again, anyone could kind of win. It is sort of just a race to the finish line. Very minimal objects because, again, players do have to kind of plot what they're going to do. So let's take a look right now. It looks like both players are only using the springs. Very interesting. And again, you do get to play on each player's map. So player 1 putting a lot of springs down towards the end, and then going heavy on items towards the top. Same with player 2. So both players taking a pretty similar strategy. You may just want to go towards the bottom at this rate. So we are going to get right on into this. We're going to see we got our gray and red player. I'm not even going to zoom in to see player 1 and player 2 because we do not want to miss any action. Red awkwardly may have accidentally pressed R, which did do the tactical reset. And we do got our gray player, who was player 2, it looks like, able to grab that gem. So player 1, if they do want any chance of winning, they're going to have to grab this gem within 16 seconds. So we do got to make sure, they have to make sure that they do grab that. And it looks like they do get hit by the robot. They were off to a pretty good start. It does look like our gray player there, who I believe is player 2, is having a little bit of trouble. So player 1, ooh, they could get it, and we do end in a tie. So there we go. For our last game, we do have a tie. So that is the first so far. That's another first right now coming in on the stream. So very intense right there. We've had a lot of really close games. And again, I do just want to thank you guys for tuning in. That was very, very exciting. We had a couple of really intense normal games, a couple of intense gem races, and then we also had the very first tie on stream. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. This is it for the week. However, we will be running these again next week. And we will also, we do have our registration open. So again, if you do want to register, make sure you do get in contact with your school. It should be on the website. And we will actually update our website shortly to accommodate for all you guys registering for the classes. So again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week. And I hope everyone has a great and healthy weekend. All right, see ya.